this. It should not be locked up. So, I mean, it's just our natural healthy state, really. We've been so poorly nourished and so poorly
like the oceans were being acidified,
exactly.
you know, like made to be more acidic.
Yeah, precisely like the oceans. And
interesting.
Again,
well,
as above, so below.
I think it's interesting that he specifically said, and he may very well know more on this particular subject, that if the oceans were allowed to become more acidic over time, that all these marine animals would die off, and it would obviously, you know, change the environment of our oceans a great deal, but that it wouldn't ultimately lead to like an extinction type of event for humanity.
Said that humans would be fine.
But I don't know if you can straight up say that when you think about all the other types of environmental stuff.
Yeah,
you know, people talk about like the bee thing.
Right, there's so many factors that would come into play that do affect us as a species.
Lakes and rivers, I mean, people dumping crap because, you know, they save money or whatever. So there's a lot of other things, ice melting, glaciers melting, that kind of thing. So I feel like, I don't know if you could straight up say like, oh, it's cool, like we would be fine. Like, would we? Because there's all kinds of other problems happening too, and in combination,
we can say, technically
we don't really
speaking,
know what would happen.
Technically speaking, insofar as regards that standard measurement of, you know, the acidic oceans, apparently we'd be fine. But you know, obviously, yeah, that's going to have so many resounding effects. Like, you cannot change the pH balance of the Earth, and
everything's going to be cool.
Nothing's going to be cool.
Right, and he's
so
saying like fish is going to die and stuff. Like, there's a lot of
let's address that,
communities that rely on those types of foods. Like, already up in like Alaska and places, like the people that live up there are like, salmon's gone. We just nope.
And
we
I
just
don't think
have
that
any anymore in this area or wherever.
I don't think that
they rely on that stuff.
The value of morale into account. Like, we have this very, again, sort of atheistic, mechanistic view on things where it's like finances matter and you know, profits matter, but we don't take into account the morale. Like, you're not merely nourished by the foods you eat. You're nourished by the company you keep. You're nourished by the relationships you develop.
Yeah.
You're nourished by the quality of life.
Interesting that comes up so often in places that, you know, you have experience working in like nursing homes and stuff, and I work in a senior citizen apartment complex or whatever. Assisted living type of situation, and the whole quality of life question actually comes up a lot with older people. Are extremely conscious about that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes their kids and their families are not, but those people specifically, when I think once you get up there in age, like, that's something that is constantly conscious to you, that the quality of life is more important than how long you're living or where you are or what you're doing. And
it's funny that we should come to that, you know, come to making that assessment in old age. Why don't we go ahead and think about that now?
Right.
You know, before it's too late.
Totally.
Before we're forced to care about it more than anything else, because we know that fucking clock is ticking down. And you know, the thing with the oceans and the acidic water, that's something that I was unaware of. Let's raise awareness for that, people.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of people that are out there talking about it, trying to raise awareness. Oh my God, like celebrities, how
like
dare
Greta
they?
Fucking Thunberg.
No, just a few days after, or a week or so after.
Mental retardation.
Greta said something. My husband was just telling me Jason Momoa popped up at the UN. I saw a quick clip of him like walking into and like going up on stage, but he apparently is a environmental type activist person, and he went to go speak about how important it is to keep our oceans, I don't know, free of garbage. Maybe might be a good idea, but so why is, again, it's a celebrity talking about environmentalism. What a piece of shit he is. It's if there's even a little bit of of good, or one person that he maybe convinces, isn't that worth it?
Yeah, and I'd like to point out the synchronicity
also,
there.
He's Aquaman.
Yeah,
yes.
I'd like to point out the synchronicity that he happens to be Aquaman, the current Aquaman, which parallels with the Boys. Is that what it's called, The Boys?
Yes.
The Boys version of Aquaman. The Deep, as he's called, is...
no comparison between the Deep and Moa. Don't you dare.
There's the values in play is that he is just a real geeky kind of exaggerated, idiosyncratic environmental activist, which makes sense for his character, obviously.
Yeah.
But then we have, Jason Momoa just happens to be Aquaman, and he is an environmental activist.
He's been doing stuff for the environment for a long time.
These things are lining up for a reason, and it could be just to show you that this exists, that there is synchronicity in play.
Honestly, like I said, if it convinces one person, or it produces concern in one freaking person, then it's not worth it.
Yeah,
I say go for it. Yeah,
and also,
if you're a celebrity and you can bring in a spotlight to a certain cause, fucking go for it, dude. What the hell do I care? Right. That's good.
While we have it, before I lose it, I'd like to raise the inquiry, or the query rather, that we do have to ask at some point when we're dealing with this intelligent force that is in play, this living presence in the world. Might it be obviously, because things line up synchronistically like that, coincidentally things line up like that, the pattern to it is implicative of something. The patterning of it is implicative. What I'm saying is that we do have to question, is this intelligence intelligent? It could be an artificial intelligence, it could be like a computer program, which brings us back to the simulation theory, which again, I'm going to continue to hold my stance that that's a ridiculous idea, but
we're
getting closer. We're getting closer.
Are you convinced?
Yeah,
we are in the Matrix.
No, but that's a question. It's the same kind of question we have to ask when, for example, Candace and my mom and I were talking earlier today. We were having a conversation about my mom having premonitions, and she would think of something like just before it happens, and then it would happen. And again, the question has to be raised there for any spotter, like if you're having dreams of the future and they come true, did you see the future or did you make it happen?
Right. Well, I feel like that's just a simple question. Do you believe in coincidence? And if so, then, hey, maybe it was just a coincidence. If not, then there's something much bigger at work.
Let me ask you this, though, for any of the, most especially the atheist viewers who might be watching and might actually go ahead and consider changing their mind a little bit, taking a slight amount of responsibility, stepping out into the world and putting these ideas to the test, testing the world to see if synchronicity is not, in fact, in play. Do you believe in consistent, repeated coincidence, because you're going to experience it?
It depends. I mean, you'll experience it if you're open.
That's what I'm saying. If they step out and they give it a shot, it's going to happen. And the more that they pay attention to it, most especially if it's new to you and you're fascinated by it, it's really going to hit you. It's really going to present itself.
It's hard to open up to new things. So
especially if you've been indoctrinated.
If there's a blockage there, then it's just not going to happen.
Which, mind you, that's going to be the biggest fucking blockage you're going to have in your chakra system, is this indoctrination. That's why it's there. That's its purpose. Religion was effectively designed to bring about an apocalypse. That's what it's for. It tells you that in its book. That's what it wants to do.
Isn't that like the beginning to the Revelations thing? Is right in the beginning.
Revelations.
If you were like to physically open up like a copy of the Bible,
I don't know.
There in the beginning. What Genesis? I guess.
Genesis is the first, the opening.
All right, now never mind.
Story. But, I don't know. I haven't looked at the Bible in a long time.
Me neither.
But no, I mean and it comes back to that same idea where I've said, you know, if there's an organization that's trying to control you, they're going to be going out of their way to tell you the truth. Religion tells you what it's doing, point blank. It doesn't hide anything from you.
No, but the simplicity of it, people hide that from themselves.
Yes. And that's why, because
You're
it's
gonna
so simple,
confirm
it's so
we were talking about it earlier, the whole
subtle.
the confirmation bias. You're going to confirm
Right.
what you already think, or you're going to tend to confirm what you already believe.
Yes, and that's another question that you have to keep in mind if you are actually, if you're deciding to become a true experiential investigator and test synchronicity. Confirmation bias is going to come into play. Of course, you're going to be, you know, noticing the things that you decide to notice, that you want to notice, but does that make your decision and your experience any less valid? Like, I mean, yes, I confirm the things that agree with me more so than I confirm the things that disagree with me, but does that mean that the things that agree with me are in some way invalid? If they're happening consistently, they're happening consistently.
Again, that's just the choice you have to make as an individual.
Yeah, and I mean, you do. Let's get this straight. You do have to make that choice. You cannot avoid making that choice.
Oh, you can avoid making lots of choices.
Yeah, well, I mean, no matter how much you tell yourself that you're not choosing this or that you know it's out of your hands. You are making that decision. Again, it's not that we're failing to make decisions, it's that we're making the decisions we don't want to.
Or forfeiting decision making altogether.
Choosing not to choose is a choice.
Totally.
So forfeiting your responsibility is a decision that you make, and yes, you can be influenced heavily to do it, you can be tricked into doing it, but once you're aware, and we've just made you aware, that responsibility now belongs to you. Let your owner out. Anyways, we've gone on for a while. You want to cut it here?
Sure.
Alright, we're going to cut it here for now. This investigation is ongoing. We'll show you some of the Rose of Dawn. We'll put the links for everything in the description for this video, which is probably going to be number 3 in this set.
We should pick a Rose of Dawn video for next weekend.
We will do just that.
She's
so.
cool. I dig her. She's rad.
Thank you all for attending. Most especially anybody who decides to make any alteration to the way that they've been thinking if it conflicts with something that they do not want to see happening. Kilo Salai, Kerve Uniciari, Namaste.
See you in hell.